ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a little past New Year. This got pushed back. We didn't want it to, but it did. That's fine. This is still the GBL New Year Mayhem 2020 tournament. They have an ambitious goal of an over $1,000 prize pool. You guys can check out the match arena if you'd like to get involved. At the moment, there are no coupon codes. And again, this is not my tournament. This is hosted by Maddox. We're happy to join him because he's been a total bro to the channel. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, to the top left side of this map, we have the blue Zerg player, Impact. Oh, I forgot to turn on any pitch. Okay. Spawning here to the bottom right in a bit of a deeper tone, I would hope, we have the pink Protoss,
Zest.
Are the awkward pauses because of your crippling social anxiety? Shut up, dude. Why would you bring that up? Now that's all I'm going to think about. Are all the games going to be streamed? Yeah, well, the idea is, but again, we don't know what's going on with Bunny, and if there's no backup for him, tonight's going to be really, really short. Hopefully Bunny either just shows up a little bit late, maybe he misunderstood the time, the start time, or maybe there's a player waiting. Zest, of course, has gotten across the map very quickly with a probe. He's doing a little bit of mineral micro, being super annoying, but ultimately, you know, he sees the pool timing, he sees the gas timing, and the only thing he didn't see was the third. But I mean, he'll probably check for that on the way out. Impact actually played quite a few games for the IEM Katowice qualifiers. We got to see him do pretty well. And one thing that's noteworthy, I guess, is I don't know if it's like just because Zerg equals macro or not, but he's been playing a lot more with bases and a lot less with all-ins. And I feel like a lot of the games we cast at PvZ, we see some variety of an all-in from the Zerg. Be it, you know, roaches, you know, the very classic Roach Ravager push. You overwhelm with 90 supply and watch your Zerg player cry to death. Sometimes it's Nidoswarms, Swarm Hosts, whatever. I think early Ling all-ins are some of the funniest things to watch. But the point is, we've been seeing a lot of Zerg players be very, very, very aggressive versus Protoss in Korea. But I think with Zest style of macro, I almost kind of hope Impact gets more aggressive than usual too. Because I'm going to just say this. I think Zest is one of the best goddamn players in the world. And there's no way Impact's going to do a 2-0 if Zest gets to play macro in his games. The Adept here joins up with the second one for a bit of a combo. Nice build cancel out of Impact. Small victories add up a lot here in the early game. One of these two Adepts is going to die. Hopefully the second one gets out alive, although might not at this rate. Oh, it's going to be close. 7 HP. Ooh, that was like 2 more shots from dead. Ooh, Zest needing a bit of a pause. Hopefully nothing too dramatic. Maybe realize with that Adept that his mouse isn't working. I don't know. You'll probably see Maddox type in chat. He's so a little bit of a history on this one. Just having lag issues, okay? A little bit of history for those who are unfamiliar with GBL. It stands for, oh god, I'm gonna say this incorrectly and get in trouble for it. The Goop Back League, I think is what it is. It's a rice bowl in Korea, like think porridge type thing. And the idea is that, like, yeah, the original prize pools for this were really small. Couple of bucks here and there to, you know, go buy some Goop Back, some rice pudding, porridge, or whatever. Now it's going up to be quite a bigger tournament, and you know, initially it was more about trying to get players to smack talk each other and showcase some personality than necessarily the game. So you had Maddox and one of his friends would be in the games translating live. Maddox is actually casting today. He's like commentating in Korean. So I don't know if you'll have the freedom to do a lot of translation stuff, but Maddox has been really cool about this stuff. And like I said, I've been working with him for a couple of events now. He's a really cool dude. Stoked and excited to see how this big GBL goes for him. So hopefully lag issues have subsided. A big thank you to Kettle is God for the 18-month resub during that little blip there. Appreciate it, dude. But Zest is doing what Zest does. You know, it's a Dark Shrine opener, but it's not going to be necessarily DTs. It's usually Archons with that Robo. Although the evolution of this really has been, you know, bring the DTs, try and get some damage with them first, and then make the Archons as an afterthought. And, you know, if you get away with that, you could do a lot of damage. If you can pick off a Spore Crawler because it was placed down like 10 seconds too late type thing, you can actually kill a third base straight up. There's oftentimes not going to be a lair, thus no Overseers, but looks like Impact should have his bases covered, both literally and figuratively when it comes to this. What is this wall? Yeah, it's not a great wall out of Zest, I'm going to be honest with you, but you know what? As long as it gets the job done at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. These Adepts could go in early. I think what they're going to do is poke ahead to see what's going on with the Psionic Transfer at a moment. Like, well, what is this called again? Yeah, the DTs are going to go in first, hoping to catch Impact off guard with no detection, but there is detection. So it's not going to work out so perfectly for him. Grabs a Roach, though. That's not a terrible start. Warp Prism's got to be a little careful, because, of course, the staying power of all these DTs and the follow-up Archons is determined by the durability of the Warp Prism, not by the Archons, not by the DTs. I did like the combo attack here, though. The second Adept combo did about half the kills that the DTs did. And, of course, these get out alive to become Archons, so... This is going to be exceptionally frustrating for Impact because normally you hold this off and it's like on even pacing, but he's already down 9 workers before the defense has even begun. This could spell disaster for his game. Meanwhile, it's double Stargates on the other side of the map, and there is a Zergling here, but there's no actual scouting to confirm this. And if you've watched enough games of Starcraft 2, you know double Stargate's pretty unconventional. My question is what comes out of this? Is it Mass Phoenix or Mass Oracle? There's a world where a Void Ray could even make sense nowadays, but my spider sense is telling me Mass Phoenix. And if that's the case, I think that'll work really well, especially because Impact's going for a Spire. And Impact Spire, I don't think it's to dedicate to Mutas necessarily, but it's going to be a way to help deal with the Warp Prism, whether it's a couple Corruptors or a couple Mutalisks. As I said before, and I'll restate again now, the most difficult part about stopping these Archons is not killing the Archons, it's stopping the Warp Prism. You throw a couple Corruptors in the mix, they could snipe that off even with the Archons protecting, but oh, he goes straight for the Overlords. That's a little dirty. And oh my god, one of those Archons has like what, 3 HP remaining? Actually, yo, take a guess, chat. If you see an orange health Archon, how much health is that? I think that's about 6 HP, if I'm being honest. Let me know what you guys think. 2? No, 2 would definitely be in the red. I hope he unloads these and the Warp Prism doesn't die so we can see. I want to see how close we are. Some people voting on 4. Interesting, interesting. Here come the Phoenix, by the way. And these are going to be very surprising. You don't typically follow this up with a double Stargate. If anything, what we've seen is double Robo. So these Corruptors are going to be good for catching the Warp Prism. They're going to be pretty good for stopping the Phoenix from coming in and doing this. Oh god, we're at the sorry, we're at the state with this lung thing, right? I might just need to go see a doctor. I got that inhale wheeze, you know? 3 HP. Oh my god, that's 3 HP. Are you kidding me? 3 is orange? Jesus Christ. Or Archons have no HP. I mean, we know this, but like, wow. Honor was really close to 4. We had Abnormi do 3.4, which is not a real guess, but hey, that was pretty close too. Juvia would technically be the Price is Right winner because she was the lowest or the closest without going over. So come on down for the Price is Right. But for legal reasons, not the Price is Right. Oh, I just realized the music bot's been still trying to play music while muted. Whoops. Can't take care of that real quick. All right, the Phoenix count's actually not that crazy. I thought Zest would maybe even double down once he saw the Corruptors. But this amount of Phoenix doesn't have to necessarily be for dogfighting. Granted, he could have made the same amount off of 1 Stargate, and there's some things to discuss there. But the point is, had there not been a Spire, Zest would have been able to run wild in this game. Impact matching him on this was done off of a blind intuition guess type thing too. He never scouted the double Stargates. And oh, he's gonna lose one of the Phoenix, maybe 2 of them. Oh, I love that split. He's actually gonna get away with all the Phoenix thanks to that split. That was really nice. Hallucinating Phoenix to shoot across the map and look for some scouting info. Because of course, Zest I talk about this a lot with him, but we haven't gone over it this game. I think Zest's greatest strength in Starcraft 2 is just like his knowledge. And I know that sounds like such a generically stupid thing to say, but when you consider it, like a lot of the games Zest wins, it's because he's got really good map vision. He predicts his movements, his opponent's movement pretty perfectly. I mean, do you guys remember when there was a time period where Zest was making like 4 observers minimum per game, right? So I think it's funny to say, I think if Zest was the type of guy who used map hacks, I think he would lose literally 0 games ever. It's misreading and mishandling situations that cost him games when he does lose. So the hallucinations, the observer that's just chilling here on top of everything that has not been scouted yet. Zest has so much information at his disposal. And that's why he's reacting the way he is. That's why he's building the units that he is. Like, honestly, Zest is in such a good spot right now. And all this because he knows what's coming. He is a little outgunned in terms of army supply. But this goes right back to that type of supply, right? Like, this is a lot of banelings and roaches. Things that are going to be very disposable and, you know, one-shot wonders. Zerglings try to come around this base too. Even Phoenix on guard duty. Yeah, she'll better get a cannon though. These corruptors would be insane to commit to this. Here come the Banelings though. Immortals can soak a lot of this damage. Force fields are looking fantastic. Keeping everything there at bay. He does break the force fields with some corrosive biles, but all that does is create a choke and a funnel and a little barrel to shoot the fish in for those Archons. Shield battery desperately trying to keep this Nexus alive through caustic spray. Regrettably, it is going to go down by the looks of things. But maybe a little tit for tat? No, he's actually got to recall the DTs. Trying to snipe off impact space while this goes on. Still, those Archons, none of them died in that battle. And that's the really scary thing about this. They're going to be so damn powerful. Look at that. Again, the Banelings just being obliterated. This is not Banelings that have detonated. Detonated Banelings don't count in this chart. Zest has killed like 40 plus Banelings before the fight even began without losing like a single freaking unit. Absolutely fantastic play. The defense here still has to hold, but look at that army supply shift. I'm going to bring up the graph in a second, guys. But this was such an excellent holdout of Zest. Oh, Blink's on cooldown for the Stalkers. I'm like, why are they just eating the corrosive biles, brothers? No. But look at this nosedive. Impact came into this with an overwhelming supply lead and ends up matching Zest barely at the end of it. Now, for Impact's sake, he did cause some real damage with the Nexus going down. The army fight was a little bit more lame, and in fact, I think Impact would have been way better off if he had just killed this base and backed away. Because the units he killed out of Zest weren't actually that impressive. Remember, this is 76 Banelings. That is up to 3,650 gas loss, probably 2,500 gas in Banelings alone for like 2 Archons and a couple DTs. Honestly, not super great. Oh, well, hold up. If he gets another base, this is going to be another one situation. Get the base and then disengage, right? Don't overstay your welcome. Don't commit. Oh, the body block on the bridge! Oh my god, he just barely does. If that force field was like 1 grid space over, he would have caught every single Zergling. But the Stalker blink to body block the exit was so sick. That was actually 200 IQ moves right there. But that being said, he still lost the base, and that's going to be a tough struggle to deal with. Impact has managed to establish his new bases. He continues to expand while this goes on. I mean, if this doesn't outline that Impact is in a really good spot right now, like if I couldn't explain that in words with him earlier, hopefully the display he's showing in this game helps back that up a little bit. We do have a late game tech swap coming out of Zest, though. Back to air. This will be a 3rd Stargate coming down, I believe. With the fleet beacon, so perhaps just paranoid about broodlords. I don't know. Well, it looks like we had some Banelings hit various different sides with this one on. Very important he pulled all the probes there, because with +2 weapons that will one-shot workers. This is going to be a real headache to deal with if Impact's going to hit him on multiple locations. Impact, by the way, is very much the type of character to do things like Baneling drops on top of mineral lines. Zest is going to have to be very active about knowing where Impact is at all times. But oh my god, this Baneling count again. 40 plus Banelings at the moment. I do love that we're seeing plasma shields be part of the investment for this game. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, remember, only 1 needs to get through to kill. Oh, 11 probes! Archons are not holding firm. Those force fields from earlier are not here. The Banelings pushing this entire army back. The Archons go down to the Banelings when you've just got so many. This is what you do. Remember, Impact lost 121 Banelings before he got to actually detonate any. Like, this is a situation where it took probably, I would say, closer to 200 Banelings this game to break Zest's army. Archon on the back line here going down. He's trying his best to micro, but there's a sentry inside. That denies it. GG. Bravo. Impact takes game number 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's game number 2 in this best of 3. Continuing here to the top right side of the map, we have the Red Zerk player.
He is Impact.
And he's up 1-0. His opponent in the bottom left, the blue Protoss.
Zest.
I will say, it is impressive that Impact is up 1-0 like this. And I don't even feel like Zest was too far off his game, but there are a couple things we need to go over. Excuse me. Firstly, Impact's playstyle was super frustrating to play against. Having massive amounts of banelings like that is risky. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good you are at this game. When you put all of your investment in units like banelings, you're kind of asking for trouble. So, to be clear, Impact played a very risky style. But it paid off in the long run, and the gamble ended up being worth it for a couple of different reasons. One, Zest had some sick micro that game. I mean, between the force fields and the pickup on the Archons, he was nailing it for the defense for the most part. I mean, those first like 7 force fields of the game were like fantastic. Playing Stalkers to block the bridge. Zest knows what he's doing. But for whatever reason, maybe it was tunnel vision or maybe it was arrogance, Zest never got to proper AoE damage. Or maybe he just never assessed how big of a real threat the banelings were. Because I guarantee you, while Archons will get the job done in a pinch, every single Protoss player out there would much rather have Storms. Or hell, even something like a Colossus to have more range to better splash down the banelings. My point is, while there was no other, it's not that there was a best versus better option. There was just none. Archons were the only area of effect damage he had to assist him in the defense. And God, if you guys can imagine, Zest expertly handled over 120 banelings without storms. Can you imagine the devastation he would have caused with storms? So, whether he identifies that as an error or maybe he chose to play that way on purpose, I don't know. But we do know how Impact is playing, and we'll see if Zest can better keep up with the pacing here in game 2. You know, I know if you've been watching a lot of the cast recently on the channel, there's been a lot of these best of 2s and 2-game series. So I'll just take a moment to remind everybody that all the matches today are best of 3. There will be, you know, possibly 3 games played instead of only 2, no matter what. All right, grabs the drone. That was real you adept right there. Is only Group A playing today? Yes, as far as I'm aware, only Group A is playing today. Like I said, it should be 1 group per day from my understanding. I don't know if the full player list has been posted anywhere publicly yet. What is best of 2? You know what? Don't even worry your pretty little head about it. We're done with best of 2s for the year. You won't even have to think about it ever again. Neither of those are true statements, of course, but best of 2 is a dumb phrase, and I'm fully aware of this. But when you do a tournament style like round robin, best of 2s do 2 things. One, they cut down on the overall play time, so you know you're not gonna have like an hour-long series. They're gonna be like 30 minutes or so, right, on average. But then secondly, it's more about points and things like that than necessarily like a quick victory. So you might be less inclined to say cheese out a win if you're going for that 2-0, or alternatively, maybe you don't think you can win against your opponent, so you're going to cheese them in both games and just hope for a single point. Neither of that applies here. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's a different style of doing tournaments. We were experimenting with it this week, and oh no, sniped off by the ground tempest. Queens have some range on them. But I'll also say that was just kind of a piss poor way for Zest Oracle to take a path. Like, to be clear, if you're coming into the base from this angle, you know that the only queens are going to be either at this base or coming from the main and heading down this ramp. So like, to go left made no sense. To hit the mineralizer for 1 drone and lose the Oracle, I think was a bad move out of Zest. The other one's going to have to be handled a lot better, because no matter how this game plays out, these Oracles are going to be very valuable as the game goes on. Stasis wards are huge. Revelation, in my opinion, is even huger, or a bigger deal if you want to phrase it like that. So hopefully he'll keep this one alive with a little bit more care. Which, just sitting here like, is he though? Of course, third base is being established while this goes on. Those darn ground tempests. I know, dudes. I know, dudes. That's got to be the next 47th art piece right there. I think he's gone, so he's not going to hear this great idea of mine, but... you know, do like a queen, but instead of the gigantic, stupid, like, predator-looking queen head, just have, like, a tempest-shaped queen head instead. Because honestly, it's not too far off from the truth. All right. By the way, Impact, if you guys haven't caught this from the production tab, is going all in. Queens have walked across the map. Drone production has ceased. And he's going to do his best to finish Zest off here and now. Given enough time, Zest could actually bounce back from this. But I don't know if he's going to have enough. Even with these shield batteries down, I mean, sentries, force fields going to get broken by the Curse of Biles. There's not a lot of actual damage output in Zest's army. Like, it's an Immortal and Archon. That's about it. A couple of gateway units warped in here and there. That Adept holding strong, or at least as firm as she can, but the shield batteries are out of juice to keep her alive. That Archon's about to pop off too. The Immortal, these sentries being juggled here inside the Warp Prism. Zest is going to do like a bunch of micro to bring Impact closer to the other shield batteries, making this hold more viable. But at the end of the day, he's still outgunned like 2-to-1 in supply. And as the shield batteries run out of juice, so does the longevity of these Immortals. He can pick up a drop all day, but it's not going to save his third base. He's too far away from it at this point. There's like 3 Immortals out, but these are Ravagers and Queens. These are units that don't take bonus damage from Immortals. They only take the minimum 20 damage. Oh man, the pylon goes down, and that was an Artosis pylon if I've ever seen one. He's trying to back this up with a tasteless pylon. That's finished up, but it's too late. GG. Impact 2-0 Zest. Bravo. A little disappointing from Zest, if I'm being honest, but bravo, Impact. Always good to see Impact doing well.